everyone. Good to be here with you on this Wednesday. What a awesome Wednesday it is. And I pray you're having a good day, and I pray you continue to have a good week where you meet the Lord and His presence is evident in your life. I want to recap a little bit of what we talked about Sunday, and we talked about that the fact we are made on purpose and for a purpose, and the implications of that for us as believers. The reality that we were created and we were saved, and there is most definitely a purpose. We talked a little bit about our general purpose and our unique calling as well. And one of the things I just want to rehash a little bit is that to me, odd inclination in Christians that the Great Commission is more of a suggestion, or the fact that it's more for like paid clergy and not for every single Christian who has ever been saved. Um, the reality is it's for all of us. And one of the things we talked about Sunday is the fact that for us to not live in light of that, to not fulfill the Great Commission, is to every single day live a lifestyle of sin, the sin of omission. By omitting what the Lord has commanded us to do from our life, we live in constant rebellion with God. And I don't know about you, but I don't like the sound of that. And I certainly don't like the reality of that I would live in rebellion to God, that I would live outside of the will of God. And, it's so interesting to talk to people, to interact with Christians who are having issues or having struggles in their life and not trying to honor God with their life, and then wondering why everything's just seems to go wrong, and wondering why they have so many problems. And it's like, well, you don't have the Lord's blessing. It's not like God's chasing after them and, trying to chastise them at every turn because of their life. But the Lord has simply, I believe, removed His blessing from some people because they just don't want to live His life, the life that He has called for them to live. And so I think we have to come to terms with that reality. If we're not living in light of God's commission, if we're omitting His commandments from our life, we have to accept the reality that our life's just not going to be blessed by Him, because we're living outside of His will. We're not living in a way that brings Him glory, brings Him honor, and puts His kingdom first. We are told that is what we are designed to do, is to put His kingdom first, and all the other stuff, it works its way out. Talk to a Christian who does have God's kingdom as their priority, and you'll learn, like, wow, yeah, God really does work everything out. The needs, the wants, all the stresses, they seem to fade away and really not take care of themselves, but they are taken care of. And that's my hope for all of us, is that we would live lives that put His kingdom first, that live out His great commission, that we don't live lives of omission or commission of sin, that we would not live by omitting God's commandments from our life, that we wouldn't be committing sins in a way that takes us from the will of God, but that we would stay right in His will, and we would experience the life He talks about, that the abundant life that He came so that we could have. And in order to do that, we must live out our general calling, and we need to figure out what that specific calling is as well. What is that unique way that God has gifted us to fulfill His commission? And we each have a unique way to do that. We're each gifted in different ways. We have different personalities. We have different social circles. We have different abilities. There's just so many unique things about each and every one of us that God has and wants to use for His kingdom, for His kingdom advancement. And man, if we would all do that, if we would all be engaged into His kingdom work in this kind of way, in our unique giftedness, man, what an amazing picture it would paint. What a glorious time it would be for the church if everyone decided that they were going to be a part of this. We talked about Sunday how we're all part of the body, and how God has, built the body up. And when we're each operating in our unique giftedness, how it helps the body to be whole and full of love. And that's my great desire for our church and for every church, that we would be healthy and full of love. What a blessing that is when churches can exist in that. And I believe, I'm not trying to say, our church is so unhealthy or we don't have any love. It's certainly not the case for our church. but there's more that God has for us. And the more that we each get engaged into our unique giftedness and begin to be used in our unique ways, man, it's going to be awesome. And I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for each individual, because as they get involved and engaged into their unique calling and unique purpose, they come alive. And that's the reality. Is I've never seen somebody begin to engage in their unique giftedness and they're just miserable. They come alive because it matches how we're designed. And it's an awesome and beautiful thing. And for so many of us, we live so long outside of God's will, outside of our unique giftedness and our unique calling. And it's just not fun. It's miserable. It's not enjoyable. And it's not the life God has for us. So my hope is not just for the obviously just for the benefit of Du Bois Alliance Church, but for the spiritual benefit of each and every one of us, that we would live out that calling and live out our unique calling on each of our lives, and therefore live out our general calling as well, that we would make disciples who make disciples who make disciples. My hope and prayer is that becomes that becomes who we are as a church. We are there. Some of us are there. Not all of us are. And so my hope is that we would all be in that place of disciple making and doing it in all of our unique and quirky ways. What an awesome, beautiful church family we have. And I hope that we all get engaged in that purpose. A couple things for us. Tonight, Bible studies, men's and women's Bible study happening tonight. We have Friday, 12 p.m. starts our blood drive. If you're willing to give blood and you have some time between 12 and 5, I encourage you to stop by the church here in the gymnasium, the fellowship hall. We have that blood drive happening, and then come on back at 7:30 for the Tenebrae service. It's going to be a good time. Always enjoy that service and reflecting on what it means that Christ died for us, and feeling the weight of that momentous occasion. So encourage you to join us Friday 7:30 for that. And then Sunday's Easter. Can't believe Easter's already here. So I hope that you are preparing your heart for Resurrection Sunday. I know our family, we're excited. We actually get to host Easter dinner after service, so I'm looking forward to that, having some family in and just celebrating what God did in dying and rising again for us. Sunday, we're going to be talking about that Jesus rose on purpose and for a purpose. It's been our theme for the last couple weeks, and we'll continue in that theme this Sunday. So hope to see you in person, and if not, you can certainly catch us here online. But that's all I got for you. Have a great week. Be blessed, and live out your calling this week. Live on purpose and live for a purpose.